You're far from home, farmer. How did you make it all this way in your little boat?
Why do we gotta be farmers just 'cause we're from Deerwood?
Are you a farmer?
Yeah, but you can't just assume. We got rabble-rousers too.
I'm the harbor master, Kauha. I must ask your reason for docking in Neketaka. Is that so? Well, Andra told me to protect the harbor, and Wodika herself signed the order. They would have had Gallowayne do it, but he was sick this morning.
Show them. Show them what you are.
I've heard enough. There's no room for you in Neketaka Harbor. Get back on your ship and head back to open sea.
I will help you.
What's the matter with you? What are you doing? If you're trying to scare us with some cipher mischief, save the purple flames for the tribes of the Outer Islands.
Now.
What? What is this?
Run for it! So much for discretion.
Hey there. Consider it done. Be right there. Watch him. I got this. I got this.
And now Port Marge is behind us. I thought this would be a relief.
Yeah?
Yes? Thank you again for maintaining my story in front of Vanessa and the others. I didn't enjoy deceiving them, but it seemed simpler than the alternative. Believe me, I take no pleasure in duplicity. After we parted, I set out to destroy the leaden key. It's controlled us for too long. I wanted to free Kith from it. So for 5 years, I've been tracking down leaden key circles, searching for the places where they operate in secret. Trying to undo them. The task has been more difficult than I anticipated. I don't think I fully understood the weight of the decisions I would have to make, or the burden of living with them. It was much easier when I only had to follow someone else's lead. My father's, Theos's, yours. I know, and I have. After we defeated Theos, I thought the hard part of undoing his work would be tracking down the Leaden Key's members and operations. Perhaps this would be easier with an example. I went to a village in Old Valera, a run-down backwater of a place. Aye, right home like it was. Centuries ago, the Leaden Key had intervened to end some heretical cult. The details were lost, but what had endured was a practice of ritual bloodletting. A gruesome, pointless tradition.
You got an eye for charming little towns, I'll say that much.
At every full moon, the villagers would feed the soil with their blood. No one, young or old, sick or hale, was exempt. That's where it gets complicated. The village priest administered the practice. Grim old fellow. Reminded me of Theos.
Wicked old bunbag, 'tis what the lad means.
He was a tyrant. I was certain that if the villagers were free of his influence, they'd be free from the bloodletting too. So I arranged for him to have an accident. I did it for the right reasons. Not that this changed much. The old man died, and the villagers were terrified. They were convinced his death was an ill omen. They blamed it, and every other mishap that befell them, on their lack of faith. So they began bloodletting every week, turning on their neighbors for giving too little. Instead of a handful dying each year, a few perished every week. I had to do something, didn't I? I keep wondering what I might have done differently, or how I could have known better. I suppose so. Thank you. It's a relief to share this burden. You've given me a lot to think about. Ah, that. I'm looking for an old Leaden Key sect. I've found several references, but I want to be sure. Please, let me go over my notes again. Then I promise I'll tell you everything.
Ahoy, Captain. If I could bend your ear a moment, I'll be aiming to thank you for bringing me aboard. You run a tight shop. And you ain't no terrible person, either. It'd be a welcome change from the gentleman of leisure. The gentleman is only the finest ship among the Principe, and Captain Ferrante our most respected shipmaster. It were 2 honours and a half to be chosen to join his crew. Aye, you ain't wrong. Joining the gentleman meant leaving the sorcerer, leaving the only family I've ever known. I never knew no kin till the sorcerer. They be my salt family, and to me, that'd be better far than blood. Now don't sell yourself a Suole short, Cap, nor me neither. I know an opportunity when I bought it. I'd seen what there were to be seen upon the gentleman, learn what ropes were to be learned. Methinks a watcher after a dead god'll thrust me into an whole new set of eye-openings. And believe you me, I do appreciate myself a good thrust. I've a gift for you. This trinket be from one of the first ships I hunted. Malnage would have snatched it had I not found a perfect hiding spot. I know were I to tell you that, you mightn't want it no more. Just a jest, Cap. Nay, I tucked it away in my beard. Didn't wear braids back then, so my hair caught about everything from feathers to fish bones. Malnage shook me down for plunder after each raid, and I figured out she wouldn't go nowhere near my beard. Said my face were like a saw-rip fetish. Don't rightly know for sure, Cap. Thought at first she wanted me. Lasses be that way sometimes, treating you worse the more they fancy you. Given she tried to get me killed twice within our first fortnight together, I thought mayhap she were in deepest love. Aye, Captain. You ain't farting out your mouth there. Didn't fancy her in the least, but a man has needs, and I figured at the time that she were as wet as any other lass. Figured I'd give her a whisper about what we might get down to in the old. Her answer were an unequivocal no, made with a sharpness. Might have been the closest I've ever been to death. You be entirely welcome. Now, if you'll pardon me, I've roundabout reached my limit for sentiment.
I must say, our adventures together have been a welcome change of pace. When we first met in the Deerwood, you were struggling for your sanity. Now you're fighting for your soul. I can't imagine the weight of that burden. And yet you've borne it, and more remarkably. But you do. The gods have sent you after Aethys, and every power of note in Deadfire has their own plans for you. That puts you in a position of incredible influence. I've known you to be a person of rare kindness. Still, I'm pleased to see that you don't take your responsibilities lightly. If only more people thought as you do. I hope you'll remember this in the days to come.
Hey.
Need a fresh jacket or pants? Something more delicate? If you have a frame, I can fit cloth to it without fuss. Take your time. I'll give you space to browse.
Suits me, don't you think?
Care for a fish or two, stranger? Today's catch, ripped straight from the hands of the salty wench. You'll find no fresher. Have a look.
Welcome! Venturing out past the city.
You'll want supplies, crab traps or the like for larger game, I warrant. Of course, take your time.
Give me a real challenge.
Dora must think I work for free. Be with you in just a... almost had it. Damn your eyes. Hazard of the work, really. Came in on the sloop? I can hammer your ship together if you're apt to pay me for it. Aye. Captain Redora hasn't paid me for her commissioned firepower. While I'm up to my nose in debt, the wild mare gobbles up her coin. And now, pirates are holding my feet to the fire over some sham of a deal. If I don't get Redora's payment, I might as well start carving my swallow net. You do that? A fair price goes without saying, Cully. It all comes down to blasted pans and pyres in the end, doesn't it? Oh, come take a look.
Hey there.
What can I do for you?
I got this. Watch and learn.
Aethys, light of spring, sun of the world, thou givest me life and purpose. Gone shepherds us all, traveler. Seek out his temple along the sacred stair, that thy path shall be made clear.
We're full up, I'm afraid. If you're looking for lodging, you'll have to hope there's room at the tavern. Well, as they say, business can always be better, yes? I'm sure I needn't bore you with the details. You'll find Atello Valera upstairs in his study. We do indeed. Forgive me if I mistook you for a tenant. There are quarters set aside upstairs. Passers-by with a bit of extra coin will find a welcome cot and a meal. This is a temporary measure, of course. It's not my place to share the dealings of the Valera family, but this is all rather public. Suffice it to say that a family in want of coin might find alternate means of securing their finances. In the case of this estate, that means renting the occasional room. No shame in making a practical sacrifice. But I've said enough. Speak with Atello if you have business with the Valera household.
Leave it to me. I'll take a peek. They'll never know I'm here. Now, what do we have here? I got this. I got... Peek. Be right there. Leave it to me. Easy does it. Consider it. I got this.
Real quiet now.
Isn't this something? Nice to see you. They'll never know I'm here. This calls for a subtle touch. I see where you're going with there. What did I tell you? Watch him. Consider it done. Watch and learn.
Ah, a new face in the Valera halls. Courtly manners are welcome here. My time is not inexhaustible, but I am willing to spare it. What can I do for you? Valera ships escort goods and merchants from island to island across Deadfire. The Principe dogs show us their stern whenever they spot Valera colors on the horizon.
Leave it to a swabby from the Republics to think a pirate showing them their rear be a compliment.
Adu, what brings you to the Hall of the Valeras?
Right here.
Fry shat bare paws lump of lumber yonder. That be the misery's delight. Malnage's pus-stuffed canker of a boat. Malnage, High Queen Sea Devil of the Deadfire. Unfortunately, also the second best ship hunter around. After yours truly, of course. Doxy popped a hard-on and a half for hating me the tick I joined the sorcerer. Romaro shielded me from the worst of her training. When they bountied him, I figured for sure the Rat Queen would be the first rat up the gangplank. Malnage be up in Romaro's head or I've never had a roll on the waves. She finds him for us. She'll sink him soon as sighted. Come on, Captain.
When I was little, me and my brothers used to spend hours chasing each other through the Merkberry fields. Don't think a day went by I didn't have a skinned knee or a bleeding elbow.
Oh, we did that sometimes. Only my brother usually had a hand in the bleeding.
He older or younger than you? Either way, I bet he's just as strapping.
Older. Was older. Then Raid Sarah's invaded.
Oh, of course, that's gone, but I'm so sorry.
Here. Mm-hmm. Easy does it.
Oh, hello. Welcome to my shop. It's such a pleasure to see a new face. How might I assist you? Oh, I am a cartographer. I make maps. I'm not half bad at it either. And may the gods forgive my immodesty for saying so. If you need a map of any settled region of the Deadfire, I am your man. And my commission rates are quite generous. It used to be I would take to the sea and do a bit of charting myself, but I haven't the time. Too many maps need making. A shame, too. There's a whole swath of the Deadfire I've yet to see. I'm quite keen to write a book, in fact. Oh, but I won't trouble you about that. Excuse my nattering on, won't you? I'm putting together an explorer's account of the Deadfire. Or at least the part of it Queen Onekaza's tribe has laid claim to. My book will be the first of its kind. The Explorers Club will go mad for it. Or, well, that was the idea. It's a fiercely dangerous enterprise, in point of fact, and nobody will agree to chart the islands for me. You'd think ship captains would be a bold-hearted bunch. I offered fair recompense. I'm not exactly the most powerful fighter, or I do it all myself. Still, wouldn't it be wonderful? An explorer's guide to the Deadfire. Someday. Do you mean it? This is... wow! I can't thank you enough. It's a lot of ground, I mean water to cover, and some of these islands are in very dangerous waters. Don't worry, I planned it all out. We'll get your feet wet first. With a little experience under your belt, I'm sure you'll get a taste for it. Nothing will stop us. I mean, you. The idea is to explore all the islands that haven't been charted yet, or even named. That falls to you, Aimika. You can't tell me you've never wanted to name your own island? I thought we could start with the waters around the company outpost at Port Mage. There are 2 islands in the region, and nobody's taken much notice of them yet. Once you're back, I'll start filling in my map and adding your findings to the book. Oh, this will be wonderful. Welcome back, welcome back. It is a pleasure to see you once again. Tell me, how is the sailing? Smooth? Nothing to delay your expedition, I hope. How might I assist you? You think so? He is a magnificent beast, isn't he? He's been a bit low lately. Between you and me, I think he's heartsick for the sea. Sometimes. Married to the work, you know? I just get so engrossed in my maps. And next I know, it's morning. Sharing a bed with a few maps is a good sight better than sharing with Caleb, I'll tell you that. He always hogs the blankets. Certainly, certainly. It would be my pleasure. Of course, it's mostly books and knickknacks. Maps I do on commission, you see.
I got this. Give me a real...
Welcome back. How might I assist?
They'll never know I'm here.
The Queen is holding court today with the Valiant and Rowattians.
How long before they're killing each other?
Wager on it?
The Hazanui is at the palace. blaming the Valiants for attacking one of their ports.
Well, did they?
Of course not. But the Queen must calm them down before they go to war over it.
Well met, stranger. Akira, but isn't this district a fine place? I am not one meant to venture far from the gullet. Until recently, I had a respectable job at the Luminous Bathhouse. Now that I am unemployed, I seek to make myself useful before the money runs out, and I must return to the Roparu as a pauper. More happens at the bathhouse than cleanliness and ease. It is a place of meetings, business, and transactions, to all of which the attendants are either blind or deaf. One day, I overheard, more than I ought to have. In my erring, I gasped. To my great shame, I showed a most unprofessional reaction before clients. I was fired, and rightly so. The Queen granted this area of the city to the Valiant outsiders. Here they organized their business and trade, digging up the archipelago with both hands and carrying riches overseas. In her welcoming embrace, the Queen allowed a similar concession to the Royal Deadfire Company. You would do well to see as much of Neketaka while you are here, I am thinking. A wonderful place. Would that I could cross its threshold again and feel the mist of luminous waters. In spite of my time there, I cannot do else but give it my highest recommendation. You will find the Luminous Bathhouse in Periki's Overlook. Akira, you want to follow the road north, up the mountain, always climbing. It is the highest point in the city.
Merla, how is everything? They're taken.
I only deal with serious clients. Now, Shu.
A serious brute. I can see this from here.
Madiko, but it is impossible to find skilled work when every competent freelancer wastes their shore leave in the wild mare. When blood travels south of their brains, the value of a good bounty is forgotten. Ugh, but I blame Luminous Adra. Our privateers are busy escorting shipments out of the Deadfire. Everyone is rich, no one is hungry. Where are the Casitas willing to sink their enemies for a bag of pies, huh? Drunk on success. I do not make a habit of shepherding new talent, but
Ach, there is a seed of potential. We will cut your teeth on Biakara, a Huana sailor and would-be patriot who plagues company ships. Gelarde! Biakara sails a voyager's scale of Tangaloa off of Hasongo's northeastern coast. Questions? Ask your questions, Aimika. Well, the Queen's Berth ship hunters are not exactly pounding at my door for work. Enjoy the lack of competition while it lasts. Take your time.
Watch and learn.
We can summon the guards if you want to be difficult, Aimiko. Kindly leave.
If Luca doesn't see reason, the Duape will lose their lands. For their sake, I must...
That's enough out of you. Good day.
Please, I must ask a favor. What say? Do you have business with the Valiant Trading Company? My people of the Duape. We signed a contract with the company. We were not understanding the terms at the time. I wish to, what say, renegotiate. But the clerks turned me away. I did not provoke anger, I say. This is not just. My father, the Ranga, took payment from the company. In exchange, they dig for Audra. He did not understand the Valiant way. When he dies, the Outlanders will claim our island for themselves. Father has fallen ill, and the clerk, Luca, stands by the agreement as surely as if it was stamped in his skin. Akira, already this treatment is not so unusual. I made my appeals to Luca, but my words were as stones dropped down the deepest well. While I am barred from the company office, I can do nothing for my people. Akira, the gods have steered us together, friend. Take all that you need to get started. Akira, my thanks. I will remain here by day until justice is done.
Right here.
Merla, if you are not on the schedule, you are here to waste my time. The servers at the tavern are clumsy. Most clumsy indeed. A lawful claim, I might add, no matter what the native says to the contrary. He showed up with a forged contract, as if I wouldn't know the difference between our paperwork and theirs. Tawenu is lucky I only seized the forgery. The Galad is too good for his kind. Your villager friend would do well not to stand between the company and our prize. The company is allowed to solve problems as we see fit. And right now, Tawenu is a problem. Besides, lying is second nature to the Ranga heir and his ignorant cliente. I see. The company would appreciate it if you kept our affairs as discreet as possible. Now move along. I have larger matters to resolve than the fate of one insignificant island.
Give me a real challenge. Sure. Watch and learn. Give me a... challenge.
Eccosi, you have business here? You are in luck. The governor is between meetings. Go on in.
An interesting surprise. The Watcher of Cadnoa, no? I am told that is your ship in the harbor. I am Lueva Alvari, Governor-in-Residence of the Valiant Trading Company here in Neketaka. What brings you to my door? Generous of him. I am a little surprised he gave you up, to be honest. His operations on Port Maget must be going more smoothly than reported. How much do you know about the luminous Adra trade? It sells for its weight in gold. Our investors have charged us with claiming every vein we can reach. Every viable deposit is of interest to us, cartographers, surveyors. At any moment, we have a dozen expeditions underway. Some weeks ago, we received word of a large quantity of luminous Adra on a distant island. Pukukahara. It is not charted on any of our maps. However, Pukukahara is said to neighbor the island of Tikawara, and we've already made contact with the natives there. We dispatched an expedition to Tikawara with instructions to locate the Adra site and determine its value. Our people have neither returned nor sent any word on their progress. We are too long delayed, and someone must finish the job. A watcher can determine if there is essence in the Adra, if it is worth the trouble and investment to remove it. Information for which we are willing to pay. Not much, unfortunately. A few superstitions among the locals, but they're unusually tight-lipped about the subject. Ideally, but if the worst has come to pass, I would like you to complete the investigation of the Adra deposit. anything that may assist the company. Then it is worthless, and we save ourselves wasted effort. Either way, you will have fulfilled your end of the bargain. Here, I will mark Tikawara on your map. This will be of some use to you, I think. It entitles you to act as a commissioned agent of the Valiant Trading Company. Present it and you will be recognized as such. Until then, I believe we are finished. Return here once you have word of our agents and our prize. Oh, and take care upon the open sea. There are greater hazards in these waters than a few pirates. Welcome back. Is there something else you wish to discuss? Please, go ahead. It is simple science. I was never of a scholarly disposition, but I recognize that animancy can be nearly as useful as a good caster. As with most fields of study, its merit depends on the mind pursuing it. Well, the Valiant Trading Company has been here in Neketaka for many decades now. Its main interest is in the mining of luminous Adra, for which we have negotiated with numerous tribes for access to the Adra sites and, where possible, labor. The company also engages in more mundane lines of trade, of course. Ultimately, we are merchants. Ha! What don't I do? I tend to the day-to-day business of the Valiant Trading Company, our negotiations, contracts, and so on. The director takes a broader view of the business. You might call him our navigator. He directs the company's ambitions in the Deadfire. Very well. An interesting question. Director Castor concerns himself with the business of the Valiant Trading Company as a whole. He must coordinate our operations across the entire region. I am afraid you must deal with me for the time being. You seek work, information. These are things I can help you with. Well, the Valiant Trading Company the company also engages in more mundane lines of trade, of course.
Consider it. I got this. I got this. Consider it. Give me a real challenge. Right here. I'll take a peek. This calls for a subtle touch. Ugh, there. What did I tell you? I got this. I got this. This won't do. Watch and learn. Consider it done. I got this. I got this. Hey there. I got this. Easy does it.
Just a moment. There we are. So, did Alvari send you? I'm putting together the numbers. You will have to be patient. Well, you're no clerk. Sientere, Watcher. I was preoccupied. Do not take it personally. They put me in this side office for a reason. Oleska Saraso, advisor. Did you get turned around? I have little to do with people, to be honest. Numbers, mostly. What can I do for you today, Watcher? I will not lie. Our fortunes dwindle. I must ask the director for some clarity on these figures. I cannot imagine why they are so low. Put plainly, I am an advisor to the director. I keep the books in order and offer advice on the operations of the fleet. Profits, losses, all here. I have a better head for numbers than for small talk, I'm afraid. It isn't personal. It is nice to be asked, I suppose. I hardly ever get anyone in here unless they need help with their sums. That is true, but hardly anyone says so. I have been lucky to reach this position. I enjoy the work, and it is clear that I am needed. Being useful, it is a good feeling. I can spare a few moments. While the Songreta is away, Cantaniro is the company's highest authority on the island, but he mainly concerns himself with diplomatic affairs. For the usual business, you want the director. Well, it is funded and so controlled by the Songreta Mea Compresa. I can tell you that much. A council of 11 investors. Dukes, nobles, not all from the Republic's mind, but all very important people. She's nice, no? A little intense, maybe. She gets results. Always to the letter.
Give me a challenge.
Whoever I open.
Watching. Consider it done.
Akira, you return. What say, friend? Akira, he holds fast to his responsibilities and bends for no man or woman. Stubbornness is admired among his people, I say. His breath smells of drink, I say. A foreigner's weakness. A guard did whisper that Luca frequents the public house. Akira, it may be that cooperation lies at the bottom of Luca's glass. What can I do for you? Akira, my thanks. No matter the end, I will not forget the kindness. I will be going nowhere, my friend. The clerk and all of his harmful words could not move me.
I don't have a voice for shanties these days. Too much salt in the air.
Not even my Vithrak darling.
A tiny minute falsetto per complanca net.
Do you enjoy a coin, my friend? Can you lift a sword?
Less work, more drink, please. Mel, you again? Shove off, these are my quiet hours. see anything you like. I'm not so far gone that I won't appreciate and admire. Awful generous when you want something, no matter. Now, what was it you wanted again? If the tribals cannot understand the basic terms of an agreement, that is their burden to bear. Then it's a good thing we're here only as long as the Adra flows. Once the Adra is gone, the tribes can have what's left of their islands. You threatening me, Bazzo?
Hey, don't be embarrassed. A lot of folks would have just vomited.
I cannot make the contract disappear. I am more disposable than their damn paper. Oh, I like the wicked way you think. We'll make a respectable clerk out of you in no time. There is more than one island in the Deadfire. Your tribal friend can keep his. It will be done.
Ado, my friend. I knew our paths would cross eventually. Que? No, you mistake me. I am not one of the courtesans. Tell me, you are the one who sails that fine ship, Ak? Terrorize the docks with spirits, Ak? I am Aboko, and I am positioned to offer... I have opportunities for... 1,000 times I practice my speech. Merda. Never did it go this poorly. Agrasima. Do you know what my problem is, Amika? I am supposed to be in the business of giving bounties, but I know no one who hunts them. No one will unfurl their sail for my humble payments. But I must start from the bottom and work my way to the top, Ak? Agrasima, my friend. If you are ever lacking in drinking money, you know where to look. It is true that I have stumbled in my career path. Now that I have such an accomplished hunter, I can stand in the long shadow of your success. It's not all bad, but the momentum of meeting new clients over drinks and in such enchanting company, it drains the stamina, my friend. You will take the job? You will take the job. Agrasima, something special for my first hunter then. I will start you on Meriel, the mad animancer. She tortures her victims with unspeakable treatments before casting what's left to Berth's will. My contact saw her leaving Port Mage and heading west of Mage Island. My first bounty to pay off. An exciting day for us both. Maybe it's not much, but as I make more deals, more pyres will be available, Ak? I finally managed to land the rights to a bounty of value. You may not like it. There is a thirsty drake who roosts near an oasis northeast of Mage Island. An important site for refilling canteens. The local tribes call him Purakeo, after a sea dragon of legend. Even so, they have no love for this water thief. Agrasima, you have but to ask. And I'm still scrounging together the coin for your next mission. When you have the head of our latest mark, I will be ready, Ak?
Hail and welcome to the Wild Mare, friend. Now, what can I do for you? You're in luck, friend. The Wild Mare employs a number of courtesans skilled in satisfying a wide range of tastes and interests. You'll find them upstairs. They handle their own coin too, so no need to go through me. You see anything you like, you let me know.
Where in the blazes is that old man? Hey, you're the captain with the ancient Adiran elf on your crew, right? That rat-fink son of a goat-kisser owes me a fair heap of coin. And his debt's your responsibility now, Captain. He's on the hook for 5,000 copper, and I damn well expect to get it. Whether it's off his corpse or yours matters not at all to me. You're his captain. His debts are your responsibility. Pay up, damn you, or taste steel. You honorless oaf! I hope Helia's flying rats eat your eyes. Look who it is. And? Where is he? Did you get my money? So you do. It wasn't what I was hoping for, but I suppose that'll have to do.
Sure. Watch and learn.
You say I cannot down the rest? Watch me, amico. Madico, it is no wonder I thirst. Ado, why do you stare? Merla, and he hired muscle. Sientere, but you are too late to collect. A gang in the northern alley stole every coin. I cannot hire a crew, much less repay Zamar. If they wanted Zamar to thirst for coin, it is possible. Botzos will regret it when I turn my cannons to their mast.
Those the cannons you be waiting for Zamar to cast you? Because I'd be seeing more holes in that plan than in any Principe mast's future or no.
Wizard lights drew me like a moth to the alley north of the Wild Mare. And the blow to the back of the head that followed, Merla, it hurt. Then a wolf sat on my chest while a group of thugs went through my pockets. It growled like a thunderstorm and drooled on my uniform. I stumbled back here and traded all I had left for the comforts of the mare. I would keep my distance from the northern alleys, unless I wanted another head wound.
Here. I got this. I got this.
See something you like? Aloth! This is the last place I expected to see you. Have your interests changed so much since our time at Bragon Hill?
No, I still enjoy tile puzzles and deflecting personal questions. Anyway, what are you doing here?
I could ask the same of you. I make my own hours, meet fascinating people, and the coin's nothing to sneer at. Better than stuffy old books and unflattering robes.
This is Ymir, an old friend from my academy days.
A pleasure to meet you. It's good to see you again, Aloth. Anyway, I should get back to it. Be well.
It was lovely seeing you. Perhaps lovely is too strong a word. I meant pleasant. Perfectly agreeable. I can see where I may have confused the poor fellow in our academy days. 'Twas a right fierce labour getting the lad to finger any flesh that weren't covering his spelly books.
Did you enjoy the show? There's more to see, if you're interested. I suppose. I was raised in the Adir Empire. When I was young, I studied to be an arcane knight. After an incident at my school, I left the continent and wandered until I found myself in Neketaka. As you can see, I stayed. A handful of my fellow students got up to a bit of mischief that ended with several people dead. Ah, the money-minded type. I've always found fiscal responsibility very attractive. My time will cost you 150 copper, friend.
I feel like I should have a problem with this, but mostly I just kind of want to see where this goes.
Follow me, then. I wouldn't mind seeing you again, so long as you come with coin.
Be right there.
Come, lay your head on my breast. I will read to you the work of my favorite poet, Skilber. Not from something too dangerous, I hope. Please accept my thanks. He's a kind old man. I would have mourned to see something terrible happen to him. I have little to give you in thanks. Perhaps you'd be amenable to some establishment gossip. Constantin, the masseuse, longs to wander the world again. Every time he threatens to leave, Gintel begs him to stay, and every time he promises to remain for just a month more. I wonder what he hopes to find out there. Have you come to hear some verse? It's futile to attempt to but I appreciate your curiosity. My troop were my family, and we traveled the whole of the Adir Empire. The work was good when the crowds were grateful. I found a more dependable application of my talents here. 100 copper pans, a reasonable fee to experience. Come, farewell.
I will give you an experience you won't soon forget. I must assume the question beneath your question is how a fire god like perseverance. But we cannot always be strong.
Give me a real challenge.
Come to seek ablutions for your sins? Get it? Ablutions? Absolution? Ha! I crack myself up. Gets me every time. Massage? Bath? Whatever you need. Just ask. Oh, you don't want to hear about that. I lived a boring life, so... truth be told, worked out in the end, of course. Now I guess I can't... The stability's good and all, but I haven't seen anything that gets my blood pumping in ages. You know, I can't pretend to know your troubles, but if you ever want to talk about them, I'm here to listen. For a price. Nothing's free, friend. And hell and a half. I think I might have pulled. Where you headed? No kidding. I like to see something like that for myself. Do you think I could come with you? Just for a bit? Hell, you don't have to tell me twice.
If you've come on business with the Valiant Trading Company, it will have to wait until morning. We're closed. There's no need for you to be here after hours. Move along.
A giant? One of the Rathoon?
No, much bigger. Such is the rumor.
Sounds like sailor tales to me.
In the market for decent footwear? Of course.
What are my eyes be open?
If you are here about the taxes, tell the Queen... Oh, you are not the tax collector. What business brings you to my mill? We mill luminous, of course. Take big chunks, break into smaller chunks, crush into dust-sized chunks. Per con plank and net, it is really not so complicated. Okay? You go around asking just anyone in Queen's Berth personal questions, maybe you end up dead in a ditch. Have caution, eh? Lucky for you, I am a woman of honor. I direct luminous milling for the Valiant Trading Company. It's a nice job, eh? And I'm quite good at it. You want to know more? Buy me a drink first, per guano. Ha! I need a large country estate and several handsome women to fan me with palm fronds. It is good for the heart to dream impossible dreams, yes? The Ardra belongs to the Valiant Trading Company, Aimika. Unless you plan to open a bathhouse to rival Ganor's in Periki's Overlook, we will take no orders from you. As I said. If you insist. Your price is 2,000 copper. We only sell it by the crate. How many shall I book you for? You want to trade with the grown-ups? You pay grown-up prices. If you don't have the coin, too bad. Your price is 2,000 copper. We only sell it by the crate. How many shall I book you for? What business brings you to my mill? Ha! It is good for the heart. I cannot. Ha! It is good for the heart to dream impossible dreams, yes?
What business brings you? Good day.
I got this.
Adair, I get the feeling you don't like me much. Was it something I said? I think it was something I said.
No, it's not. You're not doing anything wrong, exactly.
Really? I mean, you tell me if you had a problem, right? If I'd bothered you this whole time?
Madiko, where is that spoiled brat? I'm trying to be the responsible one in the family, and it's a heavy burden. Laro is past due for a company meeting. Mother wants me to drag the elusive louse back by his ear.
Must be nice to be a layabout. Uncle Engbert would have tanned my hide.
Fuck. I am angry and jealous in equal measure. You'd think this district was a maze, the way he manages to hide. The spirit magnet? Sientere, that I did not recognize you. If you desire to get in the graces of the Valiant Trading Company, we can help each other. Could I persuade you to watch out for Laro? I'd pay generously for your trouble. I'm concerned because Laro tends to feud with Orso, one of the local Valera rats. Etzali Bardato. The Valiant Trading Company leans on her to finance their mission. If only more of her offspring were as accomplished. Ak, consider it done. There. Laro and his miscreant friends carouse at the tavern, the falls above the Adra Mill, and the southwestern bridge. If you see him, tell Laro to get his good-for-nothing ass back home.
Well, we do have this thing with chasing a rogue god to the ends of Aora, but I guess if it's on the way.
I just hope Laro doesn't bring ridicule to the Badato name.
Watch and learn. Isn't this something? I see where you're going with that. There. What did I tell you? This calls for a subtle touch. There. What did I tell you?
Ah, yes. The newcomer. I thought you might visit.
Right here.
Lady Izali Bardato. Custom dictates I say at your service, but I have not the time for such lies. If you have business with House Bardato, then speak on. Are you still with me? I'd venture that you're working too hard. Ugh. My bank shoulders the cost of the Valiant Trading Company's operations in the Deadfire. It is said that no Valiant may wipe themselves unless a Bardato signature approves it first.
If that's true, we gotta stop shaking hands with them.
I'm certain you've touched worse, farmhand.
Be right there.
Have you heard about the commotion at the palace?
Of course. Something about Luminous Adra.
A giant made of Luminous Adra.
All I know is that they're all at each other's throats up there.
You both attest that you have made all possible efforts to come to a peaceful...
I did not send for anyone to preside over our contest.
No? You didn't hire a bodyguard, coward. We have business. What do you want? The family keeps you on a tight leash, Laro. Will getting impaled on a Valera blade prove something to them?
Psst. What's your words, Oaf? You want the Juana to know we're dueling?
My bad so to the tribals. We should be free to settle matters on Valiant terms.
Small wonder the old empire collapsed in civil strife if this is the Valiant way.
And how do your colonies fare, Adiran?
We are civil enough to kill each other without making an incident out of it.
If you want a civilized resolution, you're talking to the wrong fop.
This street thug called my family a warren of corrupt inbreds. But is there a dung heap in all the world that does not have a little Valera cousin scratching through it?
That wolf he calls mother would have us live out our days polishing Bardato silver.
Miller! Scatter!
What? Where are you going, you stuffed shirt? Hey, wait! This isn't over, you coward! You can't hide behind your corrupt mother forever!
This calls for a subtle there. What did I tell you? Watch and learn. I got this.
Please, madam, a coin. Hey, thanks.
Well met, stranger. If you feel like investing in protection, I'd be willing to trade iron for copper. I assure you that everything I sell is well crafted. But I will admit I'm not quite the weaponsmith that Marehi is, nor do I possess Uto's expertise with firearms. Marihi You can find in Periki's Overlook, the district to the north. Udo has a shop in the Brass Citadel, in the eastern part of Neketaka. Lots to see. Take your time.
I got this.
Nice day out, isn't it?
Akira, you return. What say, friend? A strange smell follows you, I say. I hope you're not unwell. Akira, I cannot believe! A light after our long sorrow. My village is modest, but I came prepared. I set aside a few gems for trading. They are yours by right. You are a friend of the Dwape. We do not forget.
Sure.
Out for trouble or taking in the sights?
Laro has returned to the estate intact. Perfetto. Too much Bardato blood has been spilled in the name of Vengiata. Here, for your discretion. There can be no peace while civilized kith turn on each other.
Would that scandal and bloodshed kept their distance from my house. You saw my son dueling with the Valera boy. At least he survives to learn from his mistakes. When Valera and Bardato cross each other, only blood and sorrow remain. Word has spread fast about the little spectacle of the dogs. You've certainly caught everyone's attention. Perhaps the Watcher of Cadnua and House Bardato can help one another. Queen's Berth whispers of a Valera plot against my family. Something grander than pointless duels. You are a newcomer to the Deadfire, uniquely positioned to loosen Valera tongues. Zilly Valera strums a lute by the watchtowers, a meek-tempered boy. Fonder of song and drink than the family business. He might spill something of his family's affairs. I'll have it taken care of at once. There. May it open doors for you. Try not to alert the Valeras of our knowledge. That is the point of involving an outside agent. Because we do not belong in the same business. The Valeras are opportunists reaping the rewards of happenstance. They're little better than the pirates they're charged with slaying.
Better is self-deception, mayhaps.
Bertello doesn't make my affairs any easier with his wayward ambitions. Oh dear. You're serious, aren't you? You think I'd put myself in pistol range of that old imp? I suppose it's not your honor, I doubt. I have little objection to discussing the matter. I simply doubt Otello will listen. Speak up. My Bertello doesn't make my affairs any easier with his wayward, doesn't it? This is no surprise to me. Fortunately, Otello has fewer resources to expend than I do. More pleasant subjects, I hope.
Aethys, light of spring, gone shepherds us all, traveler. Seek out his temple along the sacred stair, that thy path shall be made clear.
Keep your voices down, my cullies.
I see where you're going with that. There. What did I tell you?
Oh, now I've dreamed of this place.
Ado, you return. The fun ran dry with the coin. When the dancers see more than an empty purse, I will be a content Radora.
Ado, my hunter!
Now, what, you see anything you like?
So you the one causing trouble in Cotter's neighborhood? I thought Remaro's pup kept better company.
Ahoy, friend. So you still be doing that old referring yourself by name thing? Would have thought it'd have cost you enough lays by now to be dropping that affectation.
Cotter has not missed the sound of your voice, Seraphin. Your smoke and mirror ghosts do not impress Kaletzia, and they do not scare Cotter.
Sorry, Valiant names all sound the same to me. Which one is the pretty wolf?
You'll know soon enough. Cotter likes you already. What do you want? Zamar has money problems. Kata has solutions. The little man doesn't know how to count his coins. Kata heard a newcomer was talking with Zamar.
Wrong play, Cotter. Let's be keeping this a friendly fucking chat. Lest the captain be calling your raise.
Look, Celestia. Your supper comes with blue fur. Tell the shipwright to accept Kata's deal before he suffers another setback. The coin is gone, Aimika. Ale for Kata's friends and food for Kata's wolf. Makasita gets the rest. Celetia, the throat!
We got trouble.
The gunpowder!
It's me too, man.
Lava. Beyond seek.
Of course.
Welcome back. Looking for anything specific?
Ado, over the din we had fighting to the north. Belfetto for the republics. Zama is free to sell my commission. I must earn my way from the bottom. Grassima, even in the oasis I am parched. If you grant wishes, there is a vacancy on my ship.
Yet another reminder that not every seaworthy vessel be crewed up to the standards of the sorcerer.
If greater things await, I will not hold you back. Next time around the wheel, perhaps.
Now, you see anything?
Ahoy there. Any news worth telling? Best news I've heard since I arrived on this rock. What of Captain Redora? Has she sobered up yet, or do we need to shake her by her ankles? Robbed? Abidon's fist! Someone's feeling bold to prey on a captain in Queen's Berth. Matters being what they are, Redora's commission is yours, if you can afford it. That'll be the Iron Thunderer, a cannon well-deserved of her name. Maybe she doesn't stand up to Rawatai standards, but she's got heart. For 1,000 pyres, she'll crack a hull, scour a sail, or splinter a deck like an imp with something to prove. 1,000 is plenty less than I offered the seasoned captain. My hands are tied. Sorry. Well, I'm here if you ever change your mind.
Than rock.
Apologies, lady, if I intrude upon your peace. Inspiration eludes me still. If you are after some scenery, I suggest the far end of the bridge. It smells better when the wind blows in from the sea, of course. Oh, sure, what about? It was Persa, wasn't it? Is she recruiting again? You can tell her I'm not getting involved in whatever she's up to. No, whatever Persa has planned, it's not how we do things. Go plot your mischief with Persa. She's got a room at the tavern down in the gullet. Just leave me out of it. Like I said, Persa's down in the gullet.
Leave it to me.
Whoever said a good per— Of course.
You want to speak with me? You do it in my room.
For someone who talks so much, you seem to care about very little.
Oh, apologies, lad. Didn't realise we'd be only ever speaking of subjects deep and meaningful.
Oh, don't strain yourself on my account.